Well, it seems to be crowded, but I guess this is the last hurrah for a lot of people. Memorial Day, Labor Day. What day are we?
Labor Day.
Cut.
We're leaving Squirrel Cove. That was 3 days we were there.
It was an accident.
And yeah, no, it was nice. We got a nice place to anchor. This time, it was raining. We were here last year and we were not in the far back there. I think there's a better spot back there. It's just a little more scenic.
Yeah.
And we got to go in the lagoon. That was really fun. And we got to go on a great hike. Amy really liked the hike. It was a little bit.
The hike was lovely. If it had been
beautiful.
half as long.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Or if we had been ready for it, maybe mentally prepared for how long it was.
It wasn't just the distance and the elevation changes, but there were a lot of deadfall and huge logs you had to try to figure out how to get over.
It was a short run in great conditions from Squirrel Cove to Teakerne Arm.
It looks good. There's nobody here, so we might have our pick of places. And the wind is way less than last time, so that's good.
The crown jewel of Teakerne Arm is Cassel Falls. It is from here that Captain George Vancouver gave the name to Desolation Sound. It was rainy, and he was frustrated from not being able to find the mythical Northwest Passage. He also complained that the waterfall was too loud. He was obviously not having a good day. We were in a much better mood than he was, so we picked the same spot where we anchored last year, near the falls. We find the sound quite soothing. As we let the chain out, the extra weight of the chain hanging in the deep water caused our weak clutch on our winch to release, allowing the chain to freefall. You might remember we had a similar problem in the Broughtons. It was a very helpless feeling, but all we could do was let the chain do its thing. Luckily, there's a length of rope at the end of the chain to absorb the shock when it got to the end, saving us from any damage. Once it was stopped, I could go out there with the hand crank and tighten up the clutch. Now that the anchor situation was settled, I could go out and put out our stern line.
Well, that was a nice surprise. There is an actual hook on the rock. Unfortunately, we have to be over just slightly for the depth and can't see the waterfall, but we'll be able to go play in it.
And we had Bailey supervising the job to make sure it was done right.
This place is disgusting. I do not remember this much dog hair last year. It's covered in dog hair.
Amy's going away. Maybe never coming back again.
You should be so lucky.
Hey Bailey, if she doesn't come back, who's gonna feed you?
While Amy paddled over to the falls, Bailey and I got in the dinghy to go hike to Cassel Lake and take a little swim. And on our way, we went over to check on Amy and get some pictures. She had Cassel Falls all to herself. Bailey and I tied up to the dinghy dock for the short but scenic hike to the lake. And it is hard to beat this view with Pane Vino patiently waiting for us at anchor. Like in so many other places we've been in the area, we passed an abandoned steam donkey from the time when the area was logged actively. And it included a few hundred feet of old cable. We stopped by the outflow from the lake at the top of the falls. Unfortunately, we didn't have anything to float down to Amy, who was still hanging out down below. Parts of the trail can be challenging, as Bailey discovered. There are chains in the more challenging spots, and they are very much appreciated. After a little bit, we got to the lake. The waters are deep, warm, and crystal clear. The granite rocks are steep and slippery. It gave Bailey quite a challenge. So I had to give her a hand.
The water's really nice. This chain is really helpful. I don't think it was here last year. I don't recall. I think we had to get over there where it's a little shallower, but maybe it was here. This is helpful. The water's great. That's such a great spot. Yeah, the water's great. Cool, nice rocks, and crystal clear water. You know, quick, easy hike. And Bailey's getting herself all dirty. Great. She just cleaned off with fresh water, and now she's doing this. Gotta love dogs. Traveling with dogs.
The next morning, we dropped the stern line and pulled up the anchor. We had no problems with the winch this time.
we had a great time at Teakerne Arm again. It's always a great spot. I mean, right there with the waterfall. The water was relatively warm, and then,
nice at the end of the season because we're not really having to share.
Yeah, we had the place almost all to ourselves. And it's a great walk up to Cassel Lake, and
you and Bailey walked up there, and I had the waterfall to myself for an hour and a half. So that was amazing.
Yeah, it's a great spot. It can get a little breezy in there. It's kind of open to the, if the wind's coming down that way. So it was a little breezy this morning. And
we were stern tide very close to.
Yeah, we were real close in there. It's real deep. There's some other spots that you can get a little bit better bite, but that's such a nice spot there. It's
couldn't see the waterfall from where we were. We could hear it.
Yeah, you can hear it last night.
If we had gone over, maybe 30 feet. We could see it, but it was deeper there, and we just didn't like that.
Yeah, it did have a good spot to stern tie also.
There's that baby tree.
Yeah, I felt bad for the baby tree. But we found that hook. That was good, the ring, so that was really nice. So there's a couple spots there, and a couple, some people have put some lines there, so that could be helpful. And we're going to go give Walsh Cove a try. We've never been there, so we're going to give that a look-see.
Yeah.
Away we go.
It was yet another beautiful, calm, relaxing cruise. We found this waterfall starting way high up on the mountain to be just mesmerizing.
Here's the entrance to Walsh Cove. It seems a little crowded in here, but I guess this is the last hurrah for a lot of people since it's Labor Day. We're stern tying again. Although you didn't have, when Mike was backing down, we were like 2 feet from that cliff. It was making me nauseous. But it goes straight down, so it's all good. It's definitely nice in the spots where they have chains. It makes it so much easier.
There was actually plenty of room in the cove, and it wasn't crowded at all. We were just getting really spoiled. After spending a few weeks in the Broughtons, more than one boat seemed to be a crowd.
you can see some really neat formations in the rocks here. Like, look at this layer here, a darker layer. Pretty cool stuff. All done by glaciers.
We're gonna go on a little paddleboarding adventure. We want to see, or I'm gonna go see what is in between those little islands over there. So let's go for a ride. Getting closer. It's further than it looked. That's the main channel right there. I probably should have checked to see if there's a current running. This is really cool. Take a look.
The Tiny Gorges Islands change dramatically with the tidal range. At high tide, there are several small channels in between a bunch of small islands. At low tide, it could become just one island. When Amy came back on the paddleboard, I had to go take a look for myself in the dinghy, and I'm glad I did.
We're gonna have pasta for dinner. We're doing shrimp and tomatoes and mushrooms and some garlic and basil. Just a simple pasta.
Join us in our next episode when we leave Walsh Cove and cruise to Grace Harbor. And then we walk to the lake and Bailey gets to take a swim. Then we cruise down to the Oakover Inlet Public Dock and we have dinner at the Laughing Oyster. And thanks for cruising with us. If you enjoyed yourself, please like and subscribe. It really means a lot.